What's up, campers? Jason with HOJ Forge. Here's video 2 in the Wakizashi. Alright, so if you missed the first part of forging this puppy out, that's on video 1. I'll put a link in the description, and you can also check out my Etsy store and the t-shirts if you would please. Let's get to this part. Okay, so here we are, forging a big long blade. Never having done anything like this before. So I've been doing some reading, some research on how to properly grind it for, you know, a Wakizashi, and have determined that short of, you know, doing it by hand on those Japanese stones, it's going to be real tough to get it exactly what I want. So I think I might do something along the lines of maybe a hybrid. I'm noticing some thickness problems between, you know, what would be the ricasso and the tang of the knife. I've got a bit of a thin spot there, so I think first thing I'm going to do is just try to get it ground to its final shape and final thickness and get it even all the way across. Maybe start the bevels. Again, doing the research on the knife, or on the Wakizashi, you know, there's a whole different type of shape to it than what I'm used to grinding with my knives. So it's going to be a first. I'm going to try and stay as true to that as I can, but we'll do it as we go along, and I've never done anything this large. It's going to be grinding it in sections, I guess. I don't know. We'll play with it. Let me get some protection gear on, and we'll get the grinder started up here. Alright, so I've got the initial grinding done. I mean, it's all pretty much smoothed out and flat. So I'm at a position now where I could either quench it and then grind the bevels in, or normally I'd grind the bevels in now and then quench it. But because it's such a long blade, I'm worried that if I grind it too far, if I make it too thin, it's just going to be a little more prone to warping. So I don't know, I may do a little bit of an initial grind on the bevels, but we're not going to take it down too far before I quench. So I don't know, got my quench tank set up. I did a vertical thing. I'll show that to you. So yeah, just took some, I don't know what it is, 2x4 tube or whatever, but that'll fit right down in there, and it's actually big enough to do an even longer blade. So yeah, I don't know. Let's. I think I'm going to go grind a little bit more, and then we'll quench it.
for the handle, just going to do a real simple walnut handle, 3 pins. I think it won't go all the way to the back. So want the handle to come up right about to there. So I'm going to mark that, and then we'll measure out some pins here. And again, the way I do it is find the center, and then I look for something aesthetically pleasing. I don't know, there might be a formula to find the right distance, but I find something that I like the look of, and then I measure it, so 1 inch and 7/8 basically. That one will be there. So I'll go drill these holes, and then we'll be ready for normalizing and heat treating, I guess. So the touch mark is in. I've got a piece of steel heating up in the forge. I'm going to heat the oil up with that in a second. So now I'm going to go through some normalization cycles here. Alright, so the good news and the bad news on the Quench. Good news, she skates a file, so it's quenched. Bad news is it has developed a warp. It had 2 in it. It was warping this way, and then up here it was warping this way. This one I put in the vise and straightened it up while it was finishing cooling down, and it stayed straight. So I'm going to use my clamp it to the straight edge technique while I temper it to get this other warp out. It's not huge, but it's there, and it's bugging me. So I'm going to go ahead and clamp this up. Okay, so it's clamped up to straight edge, and I'm going to go throw it in the oven, probably temper it, I'm thinking 425 maybe. Quite a bit longer than most knives. Most knives I'd temper at a couple of cycles at 400. This one I'm thinking I might go a tad higher. Maybe not 425, maybe 415. I don't know. We'll see. I love that tempering trick. Straight as an arrow. Just from one clamp on a straight edge. So I'm going to do the final cleanup grind here. Get it all set to put the handle on. And yeah, then she's going to be done, man. This is exciting. Almost done with this puppy. So let's do the cleanup here. So one thing I'm having an interesting time with in the grinding is trying to get the blade shape right for a Japanese style blade. It's like nothing I've ever ground before. And I'm using the slack belt on the top of the grinder a lot because the bevels aren't exactly flat. They're supposed to be, it's not concave, convex. Is that what I'm thinking of?
and there's no secondary bevels from everything I've been reading. You know, it comes right down and makes the edge of the blade. So I don't know. It's a whole different type of grinding than what I'm used to, and it's taking quite a while. So gonna keep going a bit here, and then we've got to get to the handle. And I think I'm actually gonna do a scabbard. I was thinking about the fact that I've already got so much time into this knife. This is I'm on day, I don't even know. I've been working on this at least 10 days. Not an ungodly amount of hours over those 10 days, but still, you know, I'm on day 10 and I've got at least another couple. So we're talking probably 35, 40 hours total when it's all going to be said and done. So there's a lot of time here, and I'm going to have to sell it for a lot, so I figure I might as well do a scabbard too. So I don't know. Let's keep going here. But I'm going to be using mainly the slack part of the belt to finish her up here. I know I never talk about how I do my handles a whole lot. I mean, I never go into detail, but I figured I would this time, a little bit anyways. So I've got these brass pins. I just do a 3/16 brass rod, and I always do them a little long to go in there. So now that I just unclamped it from the glue up, I'm going to go ahead and grind these down until they're about a 1/16 of an inch on each side, and then I'll paint them over. If you leave too much, the brass will actually work harden and crack, and that'll look ugly. If you don't leave enough, you can paint them over, but you're going to leave divots in the handle. Those are going to be harder to get out. So about a 1/16 of an inch is what I found that I like.
Alright, here she is. That's as done as it's going to get on the blade and the handle. I think the handle came out pretty cool. So, I'm going to wrap up this video here. That's all the finishing work. And then I'm going to do one more video. I've got some more of this walnut from the handle that we're going to do a scabbard for this out of. And then, I don't know, we'll do some Fruit Ninja stuff. I've never actually done that on a video, so that'll be fun. So one more video in the series on this, but here's the finished blade, and we'll send some pictures off to the Forged in Fire folks and see what we can do. I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.